All right, you're going to be taking a few notes, so make sure you find a clean sheet of paper in your Unit 8 section. You're going to title the top of the page Karyotype. Anytime you need to pause to write, please do so. So we're going to be talking about karyotypes. I do want you to write the definition, this across the top, on your paper underneath the title. It says karyotype. It's an individual's collection of chromosomes. So we know our DNA is divided up into chromosomes in each one of our body cells. This is a special test that's kind of run to show a person's DNA or their chromosomes. And this is something you would have to pay to get done. But this is a collection of chromosomes for a human. We're going to talk about human karyotypes. So this would be out of one body cell. Now, what I want you to do after you've written the definition, if you need to pause it, pause. But underneath the definition, I want you to give me at least 3 things that you notice about a karyotype or these chromosomes. So if you need to, pause and jot down a few things you notice about a karyotype. All right, so a few things you may have written is that chromosomes, they're kind of paired together. You'll notice you have 2, and they're numbered. We got 1 through 22. Also, this last pair is not numbered. It has an X and a Y, but all the chromosomes are paired together. You might notice that they start with the longest, and as they go down the pairs, they get shorter and shorter, or smaller and smaller. You may notice that they have kind of stripes or bands, dark and light spots on the chromosomes. You may even notice that the dark and light spots are pretty much in the exact same spots on the pair. So if it's dark on this side, it's dark up there on this pair. So those are some things you may notice. You might even notice we kind of have a group of 3, then these 2, then all these together, and then this group of 3, this group of 3 pairs. We got 2 pairs, we got 3 pairs here. This is what most chromosomes, karyotypes look like for humans. Now, sometimes there are differences because people are different. If there's a disorder, there might be some extra or some missing chromosomes on the karyotype, but we'll talk about that. Now, I'm going to flash back and forth on these 6 facts. When I'm done flashing back and forth, you're going to pause and you need to copy these, but I do want you to pay attention. So number 1 says humans have 46 chromosomes total, or 23 pairs. So looking at that karyotype, which I'm about to go to, the chromosomes are paired up from largest to smallest, with 1 from each mother and one from the mother and 1 from the father in each pair. So we look at this again. If you were to count all these chromosomes, like little gummy worms, you would get 46. Now they're paired together, so that's 23 pairs. Please don't get that confused. 23 pairs or 46 total individual chromosomes. They're also paired again from largest to smallest in the first 22 pairs. And for every pair, 1 came from your biological mother, 1 from the biological father. So we got mother, father, mother, father, mother, father, all throughout. So again, they pair up, 1 from mother, 1 from father. Genes are located on the same spot on the chromosomes for each pair. You get 2 copies of each gene. So from every gene, for every gene that you have 2 copies. 1 on one chromosome pair, 1 on the other. 1 came from your mother, 1 came from your father. Now the bands or the stripes show these different genes. Now some stripes contain several genes. It's not just 1 gene for each little stripe. So again, you go back and you look. The genes, kind of the dark areas, this is why they're in the same location on the same chromosome, because they pair together. Again, you do get 2 copies. These are known as alleles, 2 versions of these genes One from mom, one from dad. One on one chromosome, one on the other. That's in each pair. And again, the bands or the stripes represent the sections or genes. Genes determine your traits. Almost all traits, again, have two versions of the trait, and these are known as alleles. So, like when we did the human trait thing, you either had the smooth chin or you have a cleft chin. You either have freckles or you don't have freckles. Again, most traits, not every single one, because we'll talk a little bit later about some that have more than two versions, but most have two versions. You either have this or this. The first 22 pairs of chromosomes are known as autosomes. These are your first 22. These are the autosomes. All the way to this. They gradually get from larger to smaller. It's this 23rd pair. The last pair of chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. They determine whether you're male or female. If you're female, you have two X chromosomes. You got one X from your mom, you got one X from your dad, making you female. And males have an X and Y. You got an X from your mom, because again, females, that's all they have are X's to pass on to their children. But you got the Y from your father. So going back and looking at this, we have an XY. So this human is a male because they have the XY pattern. Now, some people may be born with more or less than 46 chromosomes. Or you might even be missing just a part of your chromosome, like the top half or the bottom half. Sometimes there's genes missing, just total sections of the chromosome missing. These cause genetic disorders. If you have extra chromosomes, you have less chromosomes, a partial chromosome, these cause genetic disorders. These are disorders in which you were born with. So going back again, sometimes you might have an extra chromosome, like in chromosome 18. That's called trisomy 18, tri meaning 3. So if there's a third chromosome here, this explains a specific genetic disorder. Again, different genetic disorders have different mutations or missing or extra chromosomes or extra genes. All right, so again, you need to make sure on your paper, underneath the other stuff we've written, the title, the definition of a karyotype, and then the 3 things you noticed, I want you to copy these 6 facts. So you need to pause it now before I go on to what you're going to do next. All right, so once you've finished your notes, you are going to open your student copy of this karyotype reading. What you're going to do, you can kind of look at it, but to type in it, of course, you can't be in the slide show presentation. But you're going to look at this diagram, and you're going to answer these questions in the box. And then this is a normal male, and these are 3 different people with different syndromes. These are genetic disorders, and you're trying to figure out what exactly is different, because these have genetic disorders. Something with their karyotype is different. So you're going to answer these questions here. Once you have finished this, please submit. You should finish today. Submit, and then you have an ed puzzle you need to watch about karyotypes. And then you're done. Some of you need to finish up other things. And if you're done completely with everything, you can work on something else tomorrow.